Today, we're examining cases filled with surprising turns and unbelievable revelations. Some of these stories are so astonishing that they feel like they were written for a movie rather than drawn from real events, yet every single one is entirely true. Our first case is both disturbing and complex, packed with more twists than you could ever anticipate. This is far from a typical homicide story. It's not just one tragedy, but several intertwined in a way that feels almost impossible to believe. As a teenager, Sharon Marshall seemed to have endless possibilities ahead of her. She was said to be a lieutenant colonel in the ROTC and among the brightest students in her class, exceptionally smart and genuinely kind. When she graduated high school in 1986 in Forest Park, Georgia, Sharon earned a full scholarship to the Georgia Institute of Technology to study aerospace engineering, planning to achieve her dream of working for NASA. Despite this remarkable opportunity, Sharon never enrolled in college because she was hiding a secret. During her final months of school, she became pregnant by her boyfriend but never told him about the baby. She concealed the pregnancy, gave birth, and allowed a wealthy couple from Texas to adopt her son. That pregnancy shifted her entire future, and at one point she even attempted to run away with her boyfriend, though it failed. After missing her chance to attend college, Sharon moved to Tampa, Florida, hoping for a new beginning with a man named Franklin Delano Floyd. But soon after moving, Sharon began seeing another man and became pregnant again. She didn't tell the father and decided to raise the child with Frank. In 1988, she gave birth to her son, Michael Gregory Marshall. Frank and Sharon's relationship was complicated. No one knew if it was romantic, but they lived together and cared for Michael. Frank had back issues and rarely worked, so Sharon became an exotic dancer to support the household. They also depended on welfare checks. Sharon was warm, friendly, and formed a close bond with a coworker, 18-year-old Cheryl Camesso. Although Sharon and Cheryl were friends, Cheryl and Frank frequently argued. Some believe the two may have been briefly involved. In 1989, Frank, Sharon, and Cheryl went on a boating trip where Frank and Cheryl got into a confrontation. Not long after, Cheryl reported Sharon to social services for hiding some of her dancer income to keep receiving welfare. Sharon lost her benefits and Frank became furious. He confronted Cheryl outside the club, and witnesses said he punched her. Shortly afterward, Cheryl vanished. Her Corvette was found abandoned at the airport. Frank and Sharon were labeled persons of interest, but investigators lacked evidence. The two quickly fled the area and began using fake identities. Frank and Sharon married in 1989, supposedly so Michael would share Frank's last name. They moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Sharon again worked as a dancer. She made friends easily, but no one liked Frank, who was hostile and threatening. At one point he warned Sharon that he would kill her if she tried to leave. Despite her fear, Sharon secretly planned to escape with another man, but before she could, tragedy struck. She was found unconscious on a highway, appearing to have been struck by a vehicle. Frank claimed he had been asleep. Sharon never woke up. Although she initially seemed to be stabilizing, Frank abruptly stopped her friends from visiting the hospital. 5 days later, Sharon died. A doctor noted she had older bruises and classified her death as homicide, stating that her fatal injury might not have been caused by a car. Frank's behavior seemed suspicious, especially since Sharon's friends had to pay for her headstone. Soon after, Frank tried to collect an $80,000 life insurance policy he had taken out on Sharon a few months earlier. But because he used false identities, his social security numbers didn't match. He finally provided his real name, Franklin Delano Floyd. That name changed everything. Investigators learned about Frank's criminal history. In 1962, at age 19, he was convicted of kidnapping and assaulting a 4-year-old girl. He escaped custody, stole a car, robbed a bank, was caught again, eventually released, kidnapped another woman, skipped bail, vanished using aliases, and remained hidden for decades. His entire web of lies collapsed after he revealed his true identity during the insurance claim. He was arrested and sent to prison. Michael, who had been placed with social services, entered foster care. The boy showed disturbing behavior. He didn't speak and screamed instead of talking. Frank insisted he was Michael's biological father, but DNA testing proved he wasn't. When Frank was released in 1994, he stalked Michael and his foster parents. On September 12, 1994, he abducted Michael from school and kidnapped the principal at gunpoint. The principal was tied to a tree but survived. Frank fled with Michael. 2 months later, Frank was captured in Kentucky, without the boy. Michael had vanished, and Frank refused to explain what happened. Around this time, another dark turn surfaced. Cheryl Camesso's skeletal remains were found in Florida. Later, a mechanic in Kansas bought a truck that had belonged to Frank and discovered photographs of Cheryl bound and beaten, along with disturbing older images of a young girl being assaulted by Frank. The remains were confirmed to be Cheryl. Frank was convicted and sentenced to death. But the older photos exposed an even more horrifying truth. Investigators discovered that Sharon Marshall was not Sharon at all. After decades of searching, her real identity was finally confirmed in 2014. Her true name was Suzanne Marie Savakis. Suzanne was the daughter of a woman named Sandy Chipman. In the 1970s, Frank, using a fake name, married Sandy. When Sandy served 30 days in jail, Frank kidnapped her children. He scattered them across different states. He kept Suzanne, raised her as his own, abused her, gave her multiple fake names, forced her into marriage as an adult, and likely murdered her. He also kidnapped her son, Michael. In the final devastating twist, Frank confessed in 2014 that after abducting Michael, he shot and killed him. Michael's remains have never been found.